JB here, excited to talk to you a little bit about the history of Morning Coach and how we built this wonderful transformational community. You can see it here, literally with it's self-sponsored, influence-free, no advertisers and no sponsors. How we've been able to do this with just a wonderful group of people that have come together to become very productive and professionals from all over the world making a difference. Well, it all started way back in 2001, and I'm going to share my screen here. Back in 2001, this was me. I was a young man. I was actually running companies at this time, aerospace companies, and I think at this time I had not moved there yet. But as you can see, I have a folder there, and you can see it say 2001. I can't really see the date. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Let's see, 6/11/2001. So that was June 1st, 2001. That was actually my first book that I wrote. Again, gosh, I can't believe how young I look in that picture, pretty young. But I had this dream of helping people, and I had learned. I was, in aerospace and working as somebody running companies. I was a very young age and was able to build a very successful career. But I was extremely unhappy, and I couldn't figure out why. I come from a blue collar family. My mom and stepfather are both blue collar workers. My father was too. He passed away a couple of years ago. But the thing was, I was making more money. I was almost 10xing their income, traveling all over the world, selling aircraft, and then eventually running a company. But I was miserable. I was sitting in an office just miserable. And I read Eckhart Tolle's book back in the day, Power of Now, and it really got me thinking about how do I get out of neutral? How do I find happiness and peace? And thus, this was the start of this book. So this was way back when I started writing this, and then I kind of gave up on it for a few years, stayed in corporate, and around 2005, I finally got it done. I'll never forget, I was in my office and the president of the company came in, and I reported, I was on the board and directly reported to the president. We were doing about, I can't remember at the time, 24 million, my division, and we were in about an $80 million company. And it was weird because there was this industrial division, this aerospace division, and we used to fight like all the time because they were taking allocation and we made a lot of money. Long story short, I was miserable, even though it was a great job. I was aging so fast. I was 35 going on 90. I'm now 56. I feel amazing. But back then I literally went to the emergency room one time because I thought I was dying. Well, at that time, I said, there's got to be a better way. And so I wrote the book about it called Get Out of Neutral. This book's done well. I've had a lot of fun with this book. We self-published this book. There's a lot of stories behind it. But I thought in my head that, what you did is you launched a book and you went out and started a speaking career. So I'll never forget the day he came in, Jim came in the office, great guy. But, I said, Jim, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. This isn't fun for me. I'm moving on. And I decided to move on from the company. And I decided to get out and do my book. So I got my book done, had them printed. I sent it out to a printer to get this done. You see me on the back. Don't look at that picture. I actually paid $5,000 to have somebody, tell me to look like that. I burnt through all my money, spent about $40,000 on this book. Funny story is, I was in such a hurry to get it that I didn't review the edit from the printer or the publisher who was going to publish it for me. And there were errors all over this book. So literally, I had to go speak an event. I paid to speak. This is how crazy it was back then. $500 to speak an event and sell books. I took 1,000 books with me. And that night, Pilar stayed up, my wife stayed up with me, and we put sticky notes throughout the book, everywhere there was an error, saying, we'll send you a new book. I know there's some errors, so there was like notes in them. So we did like 500 books. So I got there, I went and spoke to like 20 people, and I went back to my booth, and my wife's sister was there, and we worked the booth. We literally sold 2 books. It was the walk of shame. I had to take these books back to the car. It was so depressing. I felt like my life was over. Nobody was buying my books. Nobody was hiring me to speak. This was around 2004, 2005 timeframe. It was a disaster. And so I didn't really know what to do. I was really worried. I was like, should we go back to work? My wife believed in me. I'm like, maybe we need to go back to work. And I was drunk. I went out and got partied one night with a buddy of mine. And he's like, dude, why don't you do a morning message? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. He's like, you should do something that gets you out there. And this was, remember, pre-internet, really, 2005, 2006 timeframe. And so I went out and back in that, I don't even remember what the search engine was, to search for a URL. And I found Morning Coach. Now, I wasn't that big of a morning person, but I was like, okay, I'm going to do Morning Coach. So I got morningcoach.com. I didn't know how to build websites. I'm like, what am I going to do? This is late 2005, early 2006. And literally, look at this. You're going to laugh. I went to wayback.org. It got a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it here. That's some other stuff I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so here's wayback.org. It took a picture of this in 2007. So this was around to 2007. So this is the actual original Morning Coach website. Now, I built this website. I went and got a book at the bookstore at Barnes & Noble's back when they were really big, and it was how to build a website with Dreamweaver in 24 hours. I had no money. We had lost everything. We're about ready to lose our house. Like everything was in, just going down. And there was no money coming in. And so what I did is over 24 hours, I built this website. It's funny. Look at this. So it actually says why. Look at the colors I put in here. Pretty crazy. And at the bottom, it has a place for you to fill out your name, email, and get an access number to a call. Like, I think this is one of the first landing pages on the internet, realistically. Like, I don't know if anybody else was doing this at the time. I don't know why I did it. But I did it, and what I would do is I go to MySpace, and I'd tell people, if you want good energy, come to here. So what I was doing is I would get their email, and it was back in AOL at time. You got mail. I'm dating myself. But I'd get the email, then I'd send them an email saying, get on this conference call. And back then, I was using what was called freeconferencecall.com, and I would do a 6:30 call and a 10:30 call for the West Coast. And I would get on there, and people would listen to me say, good morning. And I would do my thing, and people would listen and get their day started. So what happened was, right in that same time frame in 2005, I got a lot of people sending me emails, and I didn't realize that you could only fit 100 people on the free conference call. So people kept dropping off. So here I was failing again. I mean, my story is failure after failure after failure. So I'm still failing, but I'm like, man, what do I got to do to make this work? I'm having those conversations with my wife at night, and we're both shaking our heads. Is this thing going to work or not? Do you need to go back and get a job? It was scary. And so I kept doing the MySpace, kept, getting people on there, but then the lines would crash. So I get emails, hey, I can't listen, I can't get on. So I reach out to freeconferencecall.com, and they wanted thousands of dollars, which at that time was millions for me, to have me extend the lines. And I was like, well, I can't do that. So what am I going to do? So I started searching, again, Alta Vista, Yahoo. This was pre-Google days. And there was this little thing called podcasting. I'm like, what is this? And back in the day, I had my phone here, but there were iPods, right? There were iPods that people were plugging in and listening to. So I'm like, well, that works. So maybe I can record the call and I can put it up on this audio thing. So I didn't even know how to do it. I had a Sony computer. I figured it out. I got on the line and I put it up to the microphone. And literally the first couple episodes, I'd be like, good morning. And I would do my normal thing. I would record it, no front end or back bumper, and I would put it up. And the first couple started going, then more people started listening. And next thing you know, I had a big listener base, and I started selling some books. So we're at about episode 10 or 11. I start getting emails. This is crazy. I'm like, what's going on? Well, in the background, when I first started, I didn't know how to mute the lines. So you could hear everything. You could hear everything that everybody was doing. And so in the background, you could hear a tink, and then a stream, and then a flush. And I was literally getting emails from somebody going, there's somebody going to the bathroom. And somebody said it was me. Like, are you going to the bathroom when you're doing this? I mean, no. And I was really checking. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just putting it up there. And so it was crazy. It started, I was like, I got to figure out how to edit. I got to figure out how to mute the line. So I eventually did, about episode 15. And it started to pick up ground. And then something crazy happened right at 2006, 2007. And I don't know the exact time. I'm going to share my screen here. iTunes featured me, okay? iTunes featured me, and literally, I went to top 25 in the world. That's Ellen DeGeneres right there. There I am, number 20th in the world. There's Adam Carolla. Some of you know, these are huge. Bill Maher. These are big things. So I was top 20 in the world. And look at some of these numbers. I was ahead of Tony Robbins, Tim Ferriss. I had the top two spots. Like, we were killing it. Like, we were just all over the place killing it as far as the podcast goes. We were number one across the world. And I went from nobody listened to me to 40,000 people. And what was cool is it was Apple users. These people had disposable income because they had to plug into the podcast. Remember, this is 2005, 2006. So I was like, this is great. My dreams are coming true. We're growing. We're making money. Things are great. But remember, back then, there were no sponsorships. So we didn't have advertisers. There were no sponsors. And that's why I don't want them now, because I never had them then. I mean, somebody would say, hey, I'll give you $200 to go on your show with 40,000 people. Now I could have got thousands and thousands. I was top right here, top 20 in the world. Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, back at that time, to tell you how big that was, I mean, I was literally beating Oprah and Ellen back then. That was my claim to fame. And everybody wanted to know me. It was crazy. I had this immediate fame. Morning Coach became this huge thing. Here's the problem. Between 2007 and 2009, we didn't make any money. I was coaching a few people. It was really difficult. It was really challenging. So if we go back to wayback.org, let's see if we can find this. Let's come up here to some, let's go 2000, let's go back to 2010. That would probably be good. Let's see if I can do that, see if this works. I don't know how wayback.org works, but at this time, just to keep you going here with what we're doing as I go back, it knocked me out, service not available. Let me go back and see if I can get into that. At this time, we weren't making any money. Like, it was horrible. And I'm going into morningcoach.com so you can check this out for yourself. It was horrible. Like, we weren't making any money. It was a tough time. Me and my wife were struggling. And so I decided, my dog Chaos passed away. You can actually see him back there. He was like my buddy, my college buddy. This was a dog that lived the life with me, right? 16 years old, German Shepherd mix. Loved him to death. And we ended up deciding we're going to go paid. So again, another first. Now remember, this is early 2009, and I really believe, okay, it's not coming up. I really believe it was one of the first membership sites on the web. So at that time, between 2007 and 2009, I was talking to people. We put people in a Drupal website. We had people on a website, but we weren't charging. And I said, you know what? We're going to charge now for Morning Coach. And I'm sorry, guys, but I got to make money. And so we started charging, and I'll never forget, we had 13,000 people that were in our kind of our circle, and 1,231 came with me. It was like a 10% conversion. I didn't think it was anything then. I was like, I can't believe everybody didn't come. But literally, that's a huge conversion. Like, I didn't know that. So we started this community. It was great. We had 1,231 people that were paying to get the CoachCast now. So now all of a sudden, I went from, being top 25 to moving away from doing a public podcast to a private podcast. So I started charging. I was one of the first people, I think, in the world to do that. So I built my base. Things were great. Life was great. We had a great community, and things were growing. And, over a couple of years, it was like, this is awesome. Let's keep growing it. And we didn't really understand advertising. I've never been an advertiser, never got sponsors, never did any of that. We just have been member supported. That's how I always say, we're a member supported community. And so this is in the mid 2000s. And so I decided to get some marketing knowledge. So my friend was Jeff Walker. I was in a mastermind. He does product launch formula, not to get into details, but I decided to fly out there. And at this time, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'm like, I got 1,000 people in this website. I'm making decent money. I'm growing. But man, look at what other people are doing out there. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I decided to start a mastermind. So I started a mastermind. It was awesome. We grew it to almost $1 million business. And I had that going with Morning Coach, but I wasn't focused on Morning Coach. But what happened in that mastermind was awesome is I ended up meeting Reed Tracy, who is the CEO of Hay House. And, writing has been such a big part of my life. And I was able to publish a book with them called El Sacro 6. This is around 2017. So I wrote this book, and this is in Italian, by the way. It's Sacred 6. This is the Italian version. But I was able to write this book. But more than that, I was able to do some really cool stuff. My book was published out there in the world. This is let me show you. This is a picture from it, and people were sending me pictures from the airports and stuff. I mean, this is a dream. I was a C and D student, like grammar. I was horrible in grammar. I had a teacher tell me I'd never write. Now I got 4 books. I'm working on my 5th, but this was published. Like, I was paid to write. So I'm seeing this in the airports. People are sending me information. And then some of you know my world. I got to share the stage with Dr. Wayne Dyer, which was really big for me. I didn't even know I was going on stage. I would have dressed a little different. I just threw on some jeans and a shirt and showed up, and Reed's like, you got to get up here. And so Wayne was up there. That's Wayne sitting in there. And, I got a chance to tell Wayne how much it meant to me when I started, what his influence was. So now I'm in a different stratosphere. Now I'm a Hay House author. My books are being published. Things are going really great. Morning Coach is off the charts. I really love the community, the people, and things that are going on. Well, then 2019, 2020 hit, and we all know that was COVID time. So COVID put a shaking on everybody, like everything. I was doing in-person events. Everything got really screwed up at that time. So I didn't know if I was going to move forward. It was at that time where I was deciding, am I going to continue to grow Morning Coach or what I'm going to do? As now we're coming on episode 6,000. It's crazy even to think about that. But I was like, let's step back and take a look at Morning Coach as what it's going to be. And I had to make some drastic changes. And so in a year ago, I decided to start running. So I qualified for the Boston Marathon, ran a 3:27 marathon, started doing some things personally, getting really fit to go, what are we going to do to build this, to get it back to where I want it to be, which now you can see we have this amazing community of people around the world that are coming together working on productivity. And what we did a couple years ago is I started a concept called Get It Done Now. And this is an idea of productivity. So we evolved Morning Coach from this metaphysical area where I've got a PhD in metaphysics and MBA to this wonderful productivity system for professionals. And so now, this is my next book that's coming out, but now we've developed software. We've got this community that's just amazing. We have our own apps. Things are just awesome. And a lot of this goes to the community and what we're doing. So I wanted to share you the history. It's been such a long journey. We're coming into 21 years. March, I think it's 19th, is my 6,000th episode. I don't know how many people have done 6,000 episodes. I've done a little bit on YouTube. It's not my thing. I'm very private and introverted, but I love life. Like, I love the people we're working with. Again, we don't have advertisers. We don't have sponsors. I'm not doing any of this for attention. I don't want attention. I just love to work with amazing people. And boy, have we put a great system together where I'm with people every day. And we're seeing people all over the world just having tremendous results. So it's been a long journey. So where are we at? Well, this is crazy, but for the first time in 21 years, you might be seeing some ads. So we're starting to do some ads. We're actually I'm doing some interviews. The media is reaching out. So we're really starting to do some cool stuff, which we've never done before. And that's why I'm putting this video together, because I wanted everybody to kind of know the history. It's been a long journey. Like, there's been a lot of issues. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've built so many wonderful friends that I consider family members. I love what we're doing. And now, like I showed you, this community is just amazing. And it's true. It's a transformational community about lifestyle mastery. That's what it's about. And it's self-sponsored. It's influence-free. There's no advertisers and no sponsors, no hidden incentives. Everything here exists to support people in it. And if you've known me, we got, the Remarkable became a big part of our system because we created planners. I'm using the Kindle Scribe right now to experiment, but people are using the iPad. And so we're able to bring like technology into this. We're on the Remarkable site, so they've been really great to us. I sent a thank you message over to them for their whole 500 people team. So, people with these devices have been just perfect for Morning Coach. They get it. And boy, are we having fun. So we've created this wonderful community that's not like Facebook. It's not like any of these other platforms, YouTubes, where you need to listen to a sponsor, or a sponsor is going to, make the message a certain way. Because again, as we said here, we are generous with insight, not self-promotion. This is a place to contribute, not to pitch. We listen before responding. This is really what it's about. It's about growth through structure, not through hype. And it's a professional space for really amazing people. And so it's awesome. So I'm putting this together for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to put the history up so all of our members know where it came from, where it started, and how far we've come. And I also want to put it together because I need to pull a transcript, put it in AI so it knows the history, and also going to put it up on YouTube so I can share with you. But love it. And here's the deal. What is Morning Coach? We have different levels. We have a $10 level that we put together for people that we call it discovery, where you get the planner, the structure, and everything. That's our base level so people can learn. Then we have a $100 a month level. That's the real deal. That's where you're getting daily coaching from me, a daily coach cast. You're getting a daily workbook. You're getting meetups and everything going on. Why? Because it's a good level for really professional people. Then we have a couple other things. We have an add-on, which is a companion software with our system that's really cool. And then we have an Ignite group that's awesome. That's a group of people that get together. So we got a lot of things going on, but it's just fun and it's awesome. And I wanted to share the story because the guy that started this way back when, and if I come back here and look at this picture, I mean, it's pretty amazing to think that this guy, okay, had built this wonderful community, and we really have built it internationally. People all over the world. It's pretty phenomenal. And I thank you, no matter what level or where you're at, you watch a video, you've tweeted something, whatever. I appreciate you because it's awesome. It is a great time to be alive as long as you're with the right people, the right structure, and you're building a lifestyle mastery system. And that's what we're about, a transformational community about lifestyle mastery. So thanks for watching. It's been awesome to share this history with you. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much as we put that out there. But hey, go have a phenomenal day. And for those of you in Morning Coach, thank you so much for being a part of this. It really is a labor of love and a member-sponsored community, not with algorithms or sponsors. We're all here doing it together. Lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one.